I know I'm late as fuck to this because I've been busy literally all week, so I'm definitely late. I'm gonna have like I'm gonna release this video and then I'm gonna release a another video later reacting to the 308 news and just breaking down shit. But yeah, no, I've been really really busy, so I haven't been as consistent as I want to be. But we're doing the next matchups for the Umar Sandhagen card. The opponents on there, some winners, some losers, mostly winners, and just really people I'm interested in and what matchups I think would be entertaining. So without further ado, I mean, we're gonna start with Jordan Vucenic. I know he lost. I know he lost. I think he's a good prospect, and I'm interested in him. You don't. He made it to where it was an arguable split decision on a short notice UFC debut up a weight class against Guram. Guram's a good fighter. You don't. You don't do that. Like you don't. You do it. Like you can step up. You can do this. You can do that. You don't make it as close as you did. Knock him down. I know Guram's kind of a slow starter, but it's like he did good. He did insanely good. Weight class up. I think he's an exciting prospect to look out for, and he's someone I'm interested in. That's why I have him on here, even though he lost. He's someone I'm interested in, and he's someone I think can be a future star. He already has a name from Cage Warriors. He has the look. He has the fighting style where he has like kind of like a dirty boxing fight, and he's good at grappling. He has the fighting style. He has the look. He has the name, and I think we should put him up against another fun fighter who usually always delivers in stand up, but he can also deliver in striking. Someone who can actually be willing to brawl, and someone who has a decent name, and that guy is. Fuck, I messed up. David Onama. David Onama. David Onama he's good. He has good wins. Pretty good resume already. He's decently well known. He had a great fight against Nate Landwehr where he lost, but he's coming off a good knockout win against. Oh fuck, I don't remember who it was, but I called this fight perfectly. I don't remember who it was, but he's coming off a good knockout win. I think winner of this can maybe get like winner of this could be kind of a star and make their name a little bit in featherweight. I don't know if they'll reach top 15. I don't know if they deserve a top 15 opponent after winning it. But it's just a good fight that if you put on the main card of a pay-per-view or you put it as a co-main event on a fight night, no one would really mind because it's two names, it's two people who will deliver in fun fights. And honestly, it's just a good fight. I want to see the boxing style. I want to see how Jordan Vucenic will do against a good boxer, someone who's kind of long and rangy and has good knockout power, which Garam has a decent amount of those. But it's just a fun fight. David Onama, Jordan Vucenic, I think that's just a great fight, really fun. And that's what I want to see. I want to see fun fights. I'm going to be honest, I didn't make a next fight for Garam because I just don't know. It's just Jordan Vucenic I'm a lot more interested in. I think he's more of a prospect than Garam. And honestly, bro, like I know I'm dick sucking like crazy. I've been dick sucking. I'll stay dick sucking for him. He's a good prospect. I want to see him. Just make a fun fight. David Onama, Jordan Vucenic, two good names, two people sort of on a rise. It's just a good fight, man. Like it's really not much to it. It'd be a fun brawl. It'd be good grappling exchanges if David Onama can work on that, and it'd be clean striking. So yeah. The next fight, honestly, Azmat. I He completely destroyed Manyfield. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm not gonna lie. There's not many HD pictures of some fighters that I want. I'm trying to find HD pictures. There's none, bro. I might need to start taking my own pictures if I can, bro. I might need to start doing it because you want to make a good quality video, you gotta find good pictures. You can't find good pictures, you can't find a good quality video. it's really it is what it is, you know. Also, moving back, going back, Osman completely destroyed Manyfield, laid him out. I think he has a lot of potential, and really the next fighter I want him to fight. I know this might be a little jump up in the rating in the fucking rankings, but it's like, you know, Give him Anthony Smith. It's kind of a big jump up, but it's like the lightweight division is at a point, or light heavyweight division is at a weird point where my first reaction was put him against Olberg. They both destroyed Menifee. Not fucking Menifee. Menifield. And I think, honestly, it's a good fight, but why would he kill two prospects? And I think they're going to go with Olberg versus Khalil or Olberg versus Jamal Hill. Like, it's one of those. They're not going to kill two prospects. I don't advise you to kill two prospects, but you can kill Anthony Smith, and it's a decently high jump up in the rankings. Unless Roman Dolidze stays, I honestly think that he should just fight Anthony Smith. I don't think we should make him defend his contender status because he just destroyed Menifee. I keep saying Menifee. It's a location in California. That's the only reason I'm saying it. He just destroyed Menifield. We should not make him... We should give him the Olberg treatment, where if Olberg knocked out Menifield, he's fighting Jamal Hill. I know it was on short notice, so it's a little different. But you get what I'm trying to say here. We should keep the same treatment, keep the same energy. I know it wasn't 11 seconds, but I arguably would have rather seen Olberg like just dominate Menifield on the feet for like basically a whole fight rather than knock him out, 11 seconds. I'd rather see that. So Azamat, let's give him a little bit of jump up, Anthony Smith. And if he wins it, like I said, you don't want to kill two prospects. I'm leaning towards Azamat to win, but I think I realized I'm never taking Anthony Smith in a fight. I'm never doing it. I picked Roman Dolidze to win. I picked everybody to beat Anthony Smith, and somehow he's still in the rankings. I don't know how he's still in the rankings. I really don't, but let's make some use of him while he's there in the rankings. Let's hype up some prospects. Let's make some actual use of Anthony Smith. Or make him fight Dominic Reyes, please. Make him fight Dominic Reyes, or let's actually build some prospects like Azamat. Moving on. 2, Joel Alvarez. Like I said, no HD pictures. This shit, I looked for hours. I looked for actual hours to find HD pictures. There's no HD pictures. But, Joel Alvarez, I tweeted this as soon as he won. He's a good technical boxer. He has good kicks. He knocked out Elvis Brenner. You don't do that. Elvis Brenner is extremely tough. It's hard to do. So not only does he have the range and just good, clean boxing, he has the power to go along with it. He's a good prospect. I think it will take him very far. And I just think this guy's extremely talented, a good prospect. That being said, let's do kind of the same matchup. Jalen Turner, another guy, tall, good boxing, knockout power, good kicks. This could be it would be like two towers of people, and lightweight, it'll be that. And let's just make them fight. It'll be a good fight. It'll be good stylistically. They're kind of the same fighter. And I think it's a good introduction. It's a good introduction into the rankings. If he wins, for Jalen Turner, it's a good prospect win. He just lost to Moicano, which he arguably really should have won that. I picked Moicano to win, but, I'm going to be real. Jalen Turner should have won that. He just walked away at the end. He wanted to walk off KO. I understand it's UFC 300. Joel Alvarez, a good way to bounce yourself back into the rankings. And on top of that, it's a good prospect. It's just a good prospect win. And for Joel Alvarez, it's a good ranked win. It's a really good ranked win. Because this is a guy who almost knocked out Moicano, who's now in the main event. And who arguably could have beat Dan Hooker, who's now fighting Gamrot on the Israel card next week. So, it's a good name. And he beat Bobby Green. He knocked him out. But it's a good name who's had multiple ranked wins. If you beat him, it'll be better than beating some other guy who people don't really know in the rankings. I think it's kind of a risky fight, but I think it's a fight you should take, and I think it's a fight that will pay off if you win on both sides. It's also just a cool matchup, in my opinion, so I'd like to see that. Moving on. David Figge. Figge had a good performance against Cheeto. I chose him to win because Cheeto he doesn't do enough. He doesn't have that drive in him. I don't know, man. He just really does not do enough. At first, when Figgy won, I was thinking, okay, he should fight the winner of Umar Sandhagen if the winner of Umar Sandhagen wants to stay active. So I'm thinking, okay, Figgy should fight Umar. But I don't think that anymore, because I remember after UFC 300, Petr Yan, he was just going back and forth. He wanted to fight him. Davidson wanted to fight Petr Yan. Only problem is, actually no. Yan fought, I want to say Yan fought 299, which was March? Yeah, Yan fought in March. He had a pretty good amount of injuries against Song Yadong. He should be coming back. I think he's looking to come back maybe in October or November. Let's give it. They both want to fight. It will be a good title eliminator after Umar fights O'Malley or Merab. It's just a good fight. Like, the thing about UFC is, the thing I like about MMA is, if you have two guys who both want to fight and they both agree to fight and they're both in good situations, you do the fight. You do the fight. It's easy negotiations. It's easy work. And now we're in a status and we're in a place where this fight could actually happen. And I think both these guys know, if either or wins, they're next in line right behind Umar. You're not going to take the spot from Umar. Umar is guaranteed a title shot. The best you can do is get right behind Umar so you fight the winner of Umar O'Malley or Umar Merab. That's the best you can do. I think these two know that. They're pretty smart when it comes to rankings. And they're both going to take the fight. It's a good co-main event. It's a good fight night main event. It's a good main card fight. It's just a good fight. And it has a lot of just promotion material. And you can put on really any card and it'll look great. It's just a great fight. It's going to be a bunch of slick boxing. Both have knockout power. And we got to figure out, okay, if Umar does beat O'Malley or Merab, who's next? Where do we go from there? This is where you go. This is how we build prospects. This is how we build a foundation for our champions to defend. We beat contenders. We let top contenders fight for the next spot. This is how we do it. And really, we all just want to see this fight. We've been calling it since UFC 300. We just all want to see it. So that's cool. Moving on. Chito. I like Chito a lot. He doesn't have that drive in him. And when he does lose, he makes excuses. And it's not a good feeling to be a Chito fan when you don't see improvement. Cheeto's striking's not that great. His ground game's pretty good, just underrated. He doesn't use it. When you don't see the improvements from Chito that you want to see, and when you don't see him understanding when he's losing a fight and he doesn't have that drive, how do you expect to win a fight? It's just depressing. We need someone that can force Chito to go. I always said Figueiredo, Chito, good fight. It's going to be a boring fight where really neither of them push. They don't really have that drive. So I was like, it's probably going to be a boring fight, just point boxing. And it's just going to be leg kicks and point boxing. I want someone that Chito can have a brawl with, someone he can thrive with, and someone that will push Chito to that pace. And I think they found the perfect person. It matches with rankings. They're both coming off losses. And it's a good way to get back into like the top 10. Well, they're both top 10, but it's a good way to establish your name in the top 10. Song Yadong is that guy. Song Yadong's coming off loss to Petr Yan, but the pace he pushes, he's a really good name. He's a good bantamweight, and I think it's just a good fight. Like I said, it could either be, I think, fight night main event. Let's get this one in before the year. And like around the end of the year or like January or February, let's get this fight in. I think both guys will end up wanting it. And I think it's just a good fight. I need someone that... The thing about Chito is you can't sell a good fight with him really because people know he's going to be boring. He's not going to want to push anything. Chito fights at the same pace, but he fights slow. So it's not that hard to fight at the same pace. I want someone who will push Chito You watch the Song Yadong fight versus Peter Yan. Song Yadong, he puts a massive pace on people. He makes it so where you have to engage with him. You want a good fight. You want to get Cheeto to go. This is how you do it. And if Cheeto does lose, you got another prospect, which you've already had. Song Yadong's already been a prospect. Big name, people know. You can put him back in. You can put an exciting fighter back into like a top 5 level, a top 5 competition. You do Song Yadong. Not only will he make it a fun fight, a fun brawling fight, which Cheeto's a brawler. Cheeto should be a brawler. His chin's good enough, but he doesn't fight like a brawler, and it's really disappointing. This is where it's either make or break for Cheeto. So at least if you lose Cheeto, you get Song Yadong. If Song Yadong loses, he's still in contention because it's still top 10 opponents. And on top of that, Cheeto's back, and maybe we'll see more of a brawler style from him. So that's why I like this fight. I think it's a good fight. I thought of this fight instantly as soon as it happened because I'm like, Song Yadong needs an opponent. I don't want to see Song Yadong fight like way down low. I don't want to see Cheeto fight way down low. Make these two. Bantamweight's good. Bantamweight's really good for matchmaking because it's people who are either coming off wins or coming off losses kind of right next to each other, and they all have names and they're all good fighters, and they all have different styles that can create good fights. That's why I want Song Yadong to show us. I want him to show us if Cheeto's ready to make that step up. If he's not, then it's whatever. But this could be a good fight for Cheeto to just show he can step it up, and a good fight for Song Yadong to just come back. Both risky. But I think it's the best fight Cheeto's going to get under his circumstances. It could be 3 losses in a row for Cheeto. But it's the best fight you're going to get where you'll still be in the top 15 and you'll still be pretty high up there. Because at least if you lose to Song Yadong, it's better than losing to like Kyler Phillips. You know what I'm saying? You're still there. You're still losing to good names. You're still there. And that's kind of what matters to me. And I think that's what we need to do. We need to preserve some people. Because there's a lot of prospects in bantamweight, but there's not really ones that you want to build up, but you want to lose Cheeto while doing it. This is where you don't have to lose Cheeto, and you can build a prospect. So I like this fight a lot. It's kind of just a win-win in general, but will UFC go with it? I don't know. Song Yadong might be willing to return a little before Cheeto's ready, because remember, last time Song Yadong fought was in February, and I don't think he had many injuries coming off that, so who knows? We'll probably see Song Yadong in like the next 2 pay-per-views or something. Moving on. Shara had a good performance. He's a star. We all know he's a star. But he could get fraud checked. He really could. I can see him getting knocked out. I can see him getting chinned pretty easily. I want to see him fight Bo Nickel. But let's not do that. It's going to be a boring fight, and it's going to be literal domination where Bo Nickel just takes him down and beats him. Like, I don't know if people agree with that. Shara can't wrestle. He impressed me with his ability to get up from McCall's takedowns. McCall is a boxer, though. McCall is Zajac. He's a boxer, and he's taking down Shara kind of consistently, so I don't want to do Bo Nickel. You're going to kill 2 prospects, and you're going to kill 1 prospect. Bo Nickel's going to win, and that's going to make his name bigger. But we don't need to do that. We don't need to get rid of Shara. So what I'm suggesting is Joe Pyfer. I think Joe Pyfer would be a good matchup for Shara. 2 people who I think are going to stand up. Joe Pyfer has the knockout power, so he could probably knock out Shara. But it's honestly, I think it's just a good fight. You can create 2 stars, or even if you lose a star, you have another star. Joe Pyfer, people know the name. He's coming off like a minute knockout, something like that. He's coming off a crazy knockout. People know the name. People want to see him fight. 2 really good prospects. And it's going to be a war. It's going to be a stand-up fight. So even if Shara somehow loses, he's not just gonna get out wrestled for 15 minutes and it's gonna like fraud check him completely. He could get knocked out, but at worst, people are gonna say, "Oh, Joe Pyfer's just really good." Joe Pyfer, Joe Pyfer's only loss, okay, not only loss. I don't know if it's only loss, but he lost to Hermanson recently. Hermanson's a good fighter, one of the best gatekeepers in middleweight history. He's just an extremely good fighter, and at the end of the day, it's like it's not that bad of a loss. So we could either see Joe Pyfer get elevated to really good middleweight or just decently good middleweight prospect, or we can see Shara get elevated in there and then find the top 15. By the time one of these guys win, they'll get a ranked fight pretty easily. Joe Pyfer's already had his ranked fight. He looked pretty good in his ranked fight. I think if you do your matchups correctly, you can either make two good stars who win a fight of the night bonus, who will also fight someone in ranked, or you can create a huge star in Joe Pyfer if he knocks out Shar. And he's already a star. He already has the name. People know him. People like his story. People like what he's been through. My dad doesn't know many fighters. He knows who Joe Pyfer is. I think this is a star-making fight. And I think you'd be kind of stupid to not make this. They're both coming off wins. They're both stars. It's better than, like Chris Curtis or someone, And no disrespect to Chris Curtis. I like Chris Curtis. You need a star. So if a star like Shara loses to another star like Joe Pyfer, it's not that bad, and it insanely builds one up. So I think you just do this, 2 stars. Don't risk either of these guys losing to people who have really no names. Just take what you can get. UFC, I think this is a situation you'll get. Take what you can get, and this is how you do it. Moving on. Mikhail Zajac. He looks pretty good. He's on a 3-fight losing streak now, which I kind of hate to say. But he's still a good fighter. He's still consistent. I think he still has potential, but you're kind of putting him against a bunch of really good people. And he still looks pretty good most of the time. He still looks like he has potential. I think what you do is you put him against Marc-Andre Barriault, who's coming off losses, coming off really the 1-minute knockout. I was talking about Joe Pyfer. He's coming off the 1-minute knockout. It's like, it's just a good fight between people who have lost and people kind of outside the rankings. They're not insanely close to the rankings, but they're not insanely far from the rankings. So I think you'll give and these guys are fun. These guys are actually fun. Marc-Andre Barriault, he's just an all-out brawler. He's the definition of a brawler. And Mikhail is one who's he's not scared to get hurt. He's not scared to walk through the pain in order to get what he wants. He's not scared to brawl with people because he believes in his power. He believes in his striking ability. He believes that he's that good. And I think you can just make a really good fight on the prelims, a main card opener. You can really just make a really good fight here. Really good brawling. It might not be like the biggest fight, but it'll be a fun fight, and everybody knows it'll be a fun fight, a good brawl. The real fans will know it's a good fight. It's not exactly the best fight. It's not exactly this is a main card on a pay-per-view fight. This is the featured fight. It's not that. But it's a good fight. And a lot of fans, what they want right now is obviously they want the big fights, the big names. But I know a lot of fans who would prefer a good fight, just a really good fight, compared to a big name fight and have them fight like a Minnow Cab versus Muhammad Makayev. I want the good fight over the big fight a decent amount of the time, and I think a lot of fans will agree with me. This is a good fight. It's just good brawling. It's just good fun brawling. Everybody loves good fun brawling. And that's what I'm saying. It's not the biggest name, but it can be a main card opener, and it'll be a fun fight. You'll sit down for it because you're like, you know what? Both these guys love to brawl. Fuck it. This is a situation where you're just like, fuck it. Who cares? Just both these guys are losing. They're losing a pretty good competition. Just fuck it. Get one of them back on track while putting on a fun fight. Moving on. I mean, who else can it be? It's Umar. Umar, the thing about Umar, right, is he's promised the next title shot in a fight that's gonna happen in a month, in 2 months, almost 2 months. He's promised the next title fight after that. I think what he should do is, because whoever wins this fight is probably not gonna fight until January, February, December, not December, January, February, or March, and I think Dana White will want to save one of them for those, because they at the end of the year they always announce the next 3 fights or whatever. So it's like they want to announce something big in the next 3 fights, like they did with O'Malley Vera, or they want something big there. Umar versus O'Malley, that's big. Umar versus Marab, that's pretty big. Not as big, not as big, but it's a pretty big fight, and it's kind of like, you know what? We want those on our press conference. It'll either be in January, February, or March. I'm calling it. It's not gonna be by the end of the year, but like, let's just say how it is. It's Umar versus fucking Sean O'Malley versus Marab. Like, he's gonna fight the winner of that, guaranteed. I wanted him to stay active, but I think he's hell bent on just finding the winner of that, on getting his title shot. This will be what he wants, and this will be what he gets, because he's a good story. He's got the name. He's an entertaining fighter. People look at Russians, look at the Nurmagomedov name, and they think, oh, he's just a pure wrestler. He's kind of a boring fighter. He's got good boxing. He's got good kicks. He can wrestle. His wrestling transitions are fun. He's not the most dominant. He's really not the most dominant when it comes to wrestling. But he can wrestle. And his striking's pretty dominant. He's just a great all-around fighter. And he's going to get this matchup. I personally think Marab's... No, this is a 50-50 matchup. It really is. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying, oh, he'll fight Sean O'Malley. Oh, he'll fight Marab. I'm saying he'll fight whoever wins that. Because it's a 50-50 matchup. It's, can Marab do what Alderman can't? Or can O'Malley just do what he did again to Marab? It's kind of a 50-50. No one's really knowing where they're going in this matchup. So I'm just going to say he'll fight the winner of this. If it's Sean O'Malley, big fight, big name, it'll be in March, February, or January. And I think same with Marab, it'll be in March, February, or January. Either way, it's a big fight. The O'Malley fight's obviously bigger because it's O'Malley, and it's the Irish guy versus a Nurmagomedov again. It's the cocky guy who trash talks versus a humble Nurmagomedov. It's just a big fight. So I think it's pretty clear what to do here. Yeah, that's really it. I gotta make another video, so I'm not gonna take too long in this. Thanks for watching. If you did like and subscribe. Yeah, like, fuck it, bro. There's not really much to say.